Chapter 1. Echoes of a Broken World. Starlight bleeds through the fractured canopy, silvering the jagged remnants of the highway. Glass shards litter the pavement like frozen embers, catching the light in sharp glints. The air hangs thick with damp earth in the musk of decay. Rowan moves carefully, her boots finding a steady rhythm over the broken terrain. She doesn't trust this silence. The world has its own language. Wind through the trees, the distant trickle of water over stone, the restless stir of unseen things in the dark. But here, the hush is unnatural, too complete, as if something has pressed a hand over the earth's mouth. She adjusts her grip on the machete. The leather-wrapped handle is familiar, grounding, worn to the shape of her palm. The compass at her neck presses cold against her collarbone. A tether to the past, a promise she is still trying to keep. Then she sees it. The wall, half consumed by ivy, its stone surface looms in the gloom, scarred by time but unbroken. The sight of it sends a ripple through her, a subtle disturbance in the rhythm of her breath, not just because it has endured, but because it feels known. Recognition flickers at the edge of thought, too faint to grasp, but impossible to ignore. Rowan moves closer, trailing her fingers along the ivy-choked surface. Beneath the tangle of green, something waits. Patterns carved deep into the rock. Not cracks, not damage. Design. She sweeps away the vines, revealing concentric circles, intersecting paths, and angles too precise to be chance. A reflection of the design on her compass. Then, the stone breathes. A slow pulse, deep within the rock, traces the markings in cold fire. Blue, alive, aware. Rowan's pulse answers. She sucks in a breath, the air suddenly heavy in her lungs. The sensation is familiar, though she has no memory of touching something like this before. Recognition without reason. The compass at her throat shudders. Its iridescent face ripples, catching the glow. The eastern quadrant pulsing in time with the wall.
Her breath slows. This is not a coincidence. She hesitates, fingers hovering over the stone. This is a line. She can turn back, step away, leave this thing to be swallowed by time. But she already knows she won't. She pulls off her glove and presses her bare palm against the cold rock. A pulse. Not light, not sound. Something deeper. A hum in her bones, threading through her skin, settling behind her ribs like an echo of something lost. Then, the past reaches for her. A warm kitchen. The scent of eggs crisp at the edges, bread still warm from the oven. Her mother's hands, pressing the compass into hers. The weight of it. The warmth of her mother's voice, steady despite the storm behind her eyes.
It carries our history, Rowan, and the hope that one day you'll find something worth rebuilding.
The scrape of a chair against stone. Her father's laughter, rich, unguarded. The way his eyes crinkled when he smiled. Then the sky burned red. The drones came. And those moments, those small, irreplaceable moments, were erased in fire and metal. Rowan exhales sharply, yanking herself back to the present.
The carvings beneath her palm still pulse, patient. The compass is warm against her skin, but something else has shifted. A crackle of static hisses through the air. Red light, scanning. Her body reacts before thought. She flattens against the stone, pressing into its rough surface. Her breath slows, her muscles coiling tight beneath her ghillie suit. The surrounding ruins conspire against her in silence, the shadows pressing closer. The drone's hum is different, now, closer, searching.
Rowan forces her heartbeat into stillness, measuring her breath in careful increments. She has done this before. She has survived before. The wall beneath her fingers is cool, grounding her, steadying her, and then the markings dim. Rowan gasps. It isn't just reacting to her. It is responding to the drone. The light folds itself away, sinking inward until only stone remains. A trick of physics? Some kind of camouflage? Or something older, something deeper? She doesn't know. But the wall knows. A new sound splits the night. Metal, groaning. Somewhere ahead, a gate sways on rusted hinges, its slow creak measured and deliberate. Tick. An invitation. Talk. A warning. The compass pulses again, mirroring the rhythm. Rowan's fingers tighten around the worn leather grip of her machete. She can step back. Leave this place behind. Let it stay buried beneath time and ivy. But her mother's voice echoes in her chest.
Find something worth rebuilding.
Rowan swallows, steadies her breath, and steps forward, through what remains of the steel and glass archway, displaying the faded letters, "Welcome to Eden City's financial district." Rowan's boots shatter brittle glass, the sound lost beneath the wind slicing through the gutted city. The autumn storm rages, rain needling through the ruins, sharp and relentless. A sulphurous amber glow spills over First National's facade, fractured light revealing the deep scars in the stone. Her legs ache from the night's relentless march, muscles coiled with exhaustion, but she can't pull her gaze from the mural looming before her. Figures in black suits stretch into skeletal silhouettes, their briefcases hemorrhaging dead leaves instead of currency. The paint has peeled into jagged strips, distorting their faces into silent screams, accusatory, condemning, a final testament scrawled across the carcass of a world that watched its own downfall unfold and did nothing. A gust of wind tears through the streets, rattling loose scaffolding and slamming rain into her exposed skin like glass shards. She winces, adjusting the weight of her pack, precious cargo swathed in scavenged canvas. Not stocks, not bonds, real wealth now. Seeds, salvaged gear. The irony gnaws at her, raking through the ruins of greed to plant something new. She tilts her head back, following the remnants of graffiti, climbing the building's fractured face. Near the 30th floor, a rebel artist once defied gravity to paint a colossal tree, its roots splitting through the bank's shattered insignia. Words tangle in the branches. Nature always wins. Once a neon defiance, now faded to the same weary green as the ivy gripping the concrete. The compass at her chest pulses, a flicker of warmth against the cold, a warning, the storm, or the figures slipping between skeletal structures 3 buildings down. Too deliberate to be wind-tossed debris, Rowan inhales, steadying herself. The city's stillness is a lie. Every step must be calculated. Every choice is deliberate. She slips through the yawning entrance of the bank, rain hammering the pavement behind her as the storm gathers strength. The marble lobby is a graveyard of voices. Messages scrawled in charcoal, paint, and fading ink crowd the walls, layered over time like the rings of a felled tree. Names, warnings, pleas. Lost my home today. They knew it was coming. The machines are watching. Rowan hesitates, her fingers grazing a half-buried inscription. The letters pulse faintly, reacting to her presence. Quantum paint, a relic of the last days, designed to endure, beyond flesh and fire. Her grandmother once spoke of such things. Scientists, in their final desperate hours, encoding knowledge in materials that would not decay. Near the entrance, a child's handprint glows softly, traced in the same quantum luminescence. Beside it, in uneven script, Laura Baxter, age 8. I was here. Remember us. Above her, the tower looms, its jagged summit a ruined crown against the lightening sky. The air stinks of damp stone and corroded steel tinged with the acrid ghost of burned circuitry. Rowan climbs carefully, fingertips tracing symbols carved deep into the marble. The compass thrums, its warmth bleeding through her jacket. The message is clear. Keep moving. Wildflowers force themselves through fractured concrete, delicate petals defiant against the ruin. Rowan exhales, pressing a gloved palm to the cold stone. Her grandmother Marigold often spoke of resilience, likening their family's survival to these stubborn blooms.
"We grow where we must,"
she'd say. The carvings on the wall sharpen as she climbs, concentric circles bisected by precise, deliberate lines. Not idle graffiti. Coordinates, a language of purpose and precision. The compass's pulse quickens. The needle swings eastward. Rowan freezes. A thin red beam cuts through the dark above. Slow, searching. Drones. Their searchlights rake the ruins, hunting for movement. She melts into the shadows as one hovers closer, its low hum barely discernible beneath the rain. Her ghillie suit swallows her shape, dissolving her into the broken cityscape. The drone's light passes inches away, blind to the quantum glow beneath its scrutiny. She waits, counts the seconds, then moves, faster, eastward. A memory surfaces, unbidden. Grandma Marigold's journal, its leather spine cracking beneath her fingers, pages thick with symbols she has yet to decipher. One phrase stands alone in the margins. When the heart beats in sync with the stars, the path is revealed. The compass shudders against her chest, a steady pulse echoing through her ribs. Not just metal, not just circuitry. Something deeper. The wind shifts, carrying the impossible scent of moonflowers. Rowan closes her eyes as she moves, inhaling nature's fragrant reclaim of the city, then exhales and quickens her pace. Fresh scorch marks mar the concrete near her boots, evidence of a recent drone fire. The swarm is adapting, closing gaps, learning. She adjusts her pack, testing the next foothold. South holds clearer sight lines, but leaves her exposed to the creeping dawn. North cloaks her in shadow, but turns every step treacherous with slick stone. The compass decides for her, eastward again, toward the pulsing light and the secrets waiting within. Marigold's voice drifts through the storm, steady as ever.
"Follow the signs, Rowan. Trust the compass. Trust yourself."
The storm had passed, but the world still held its breath. Mist crept through the ruins, curling over fractured stone and shallow pools. Thick as breath on glass, everything was damp. Rainwater seeped into ancient cracks, clinging to the air, pooling in the hollows of broken ground. The scent of wet earth, rusting metal, and ozone lingered, sharp as a blade, drawn slowly. Then the first light struck the tower. Dawn's touch was slow and deliberate. It slid over the eastern wall, chasing the night from the carved stone and revealing what the darkness had hidden. The symbols did not just catch the light, they reacted. Rowan stilled, the grooves sharpened, the angles realigned, not shifting, adjusting, a slow, pulsing response, as if waking from centuries of sleep. She reached out, pressing her fingers against the cold, rain-slick stone. Beneath the surface, something stirred, a vibration, a pulse, a breath waiting to be exhaled. Then, the sound, thin, electric, rising through the mist like an afterthought. Then sharper, closer, a search drone. Rowan drew back into the shadows. The drone hovered low, skimming the ruins like an insect gliding over water. Small, quick, silent but for the muted hum of its rotors. Its red scanning light flickered in bursts. 3 pulses, then a pause, then 3 again, patterned, deliberate, not just searching, learning. Rowan barely breathed. It passed within feet of her, the air bristling in its wake, laced with the stinging scent of ionized particles, a signature left behind by its thermal scans. The compass shuddered in her palm, heat threading through her fingers. The drone hesitated. Its red beam faltered, then recalibrated. As if listening, Rowan swallowed hard. It was responding. To her? To the compass? To something buried in the tower's bones? The thought barely formed before she felt it. A shift in the air. Deeper, heavier. The ground vibrated. Not from movement, from power. Rowan's breath hitched. A combat drone. The low, resonant thrum rolled through the mist, settling in her ribs like a warning. The combat drone's thrusters displaced the air in slow, deliberate bursts, shaking the loose debris that littered the ruins. The drone was no scout, no passive observer. It was waiting. Rowan stayed motionless, her heartbeat a drum against her ribs. The search drone had mapped the area. The combat drone had come to execute. The compass pulsed faster, urgent, demanding. She turned back to the wall, just as the first shaft of sunlight reached the highest carving. The tower reacted. Symbols flared to life, golden light bleeding through the cracks, illuminating the hidden pathways of an ancient design. The glow crawled over the surface, slow and calculated, not chaotic, but controlled. A path revealed itself, half hidden, disguised by twisting ivy and the weight of centuries. This was no accident. It had been waiting, just like the drones, a sharp pitch, too mechanical to be a bird, too precise to be random. Rowan twisted back. The combat drone's red sensors locked onto the glow. Her muscles coiled. Move! Now! She ran. Mist swirled at her ankles. Boots pounded against wet stone. The thrusters behind her screamed, tearing through the fog in a burst of static-laced heat. The air thickened with the sharp stink of scorched metal. The drone didn't chase in a straight line. It cut wide, banking in sharp, figure-8 loops, an execution pattern, a burst of light. Heat seared past her shoulder, striking the stone at her back. The impact sent up a rain of molten dust, the air thick with the reek of burning rock. Run, climb, survive. The path loomed ahead, hidden by vines and rubble. Rowan lunged, fingers digging into the slick growth, tearing through the tangle as she hauled herself inside a broken building. The moment her boots cleared the threshold, the world behind her detonated. Heat surged. The force of the blast pushed against her back, shoving her forward. But she was inside, where the light swallowed her whole. The ruins outside settled into silence. Beyond the burned stone and lingering smoke, the drones held their position beyond the threshold, watching, waiting, learning. Darkness presses in, thick with damp earth and the slow hush of the wind threading through broken steel. Rowan crouches beneath the twisted remains of the collapsed building, her back against the cold stone. The quantum marker's afterimage still burned behind her eyes. The residual hum lingers in her bones, deep, thrumming, alive. She presses a hand to her chest, feeling the steady, grounding weight of the compass. The metal is warm now, pulsing in a slow, deliberate rhythm, like a second heartbeat, not entirely her own. She exhales, steadying herself. But the questions come anyway. What was that? Who built it? And why did it react to her? She knows the answer before she wants to. The Sinclair name echoes through time, through buried cities, through dying stars. The past isn't just history, it's a chain. And tonight, she felt the weight of its clasp tighten. Above her, the night shifts, A soft flicker, movement along the ruins, distant but deliberate. Not wind, not debris. Someone else is out there. She closes her fingers over the compass and listens, slowing her breath to match the rhythm of the world around her. Waiting, watching. Then she moves.
And that's where we'll leave Rowan for now, compass in hand, heading into the spaces between. If you've made it this far, thank you. Genuinely. It means a lot that you spent time in this world with me. If you enjoyed this chapter and want to support the story, there are a couple of ways you can help. Subscribing means you won't miss the next chapter when it drops. And if you're feeling generous, buying me a coffee helps keep the lights on while I write. No pressure either way. Just showing up and reading is enough. Next time, we'll meet Elias, a scavenger picking through toxic ruins, trying to save his community's failing water supply. But when he finds a mysterious pipe marked with those same concentric circles Rowan's been following, well, let's just say he's not the only one who noticed the pattern, and he's running out of time to decide what to do about it. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in Chapter 2.